Part 2. Anemones fizzled sparks beneath the trees, and bluebells rippled lakesides in the glades. The day Amelia Hamilton first breezed into the woodland camp sequestered in the shade. Although no one had seen her face before, they felt she had been born to live among them. Willing to muck in with all the chores, the new recruit soon proved more expert than the young men. Chopping wood, securing knots and lashings to build the treehouse dwellings where they slept. Anyone could overlook her passion for stuffing voles and owls, the oddities she kept. Those were peaceful days before the diggers dozed the railway's path right to their door. Happy days, the activists like figures punching fruiting heads up through the forest floor. Some quite interchangeable with trees, their moss-brown beards near rinded through with lichen. What clothes they wore, virescent as the leaves, and skins a guileless green like nuts before they ripen. One man there was whose presence left a mark like tannic stain, whose attitude she rated rougher than the texture of tree bark. John Greenwood was his name, as someone told her later. Something in the bearing of this man stirred up dim reminders of her father, present one day, then the next day, gone. His influence on her weightless as a feather. This John Greenwood's calls were just as fleeting, though he was well respected, that was plain. Sometimes he attended campfire meetings, but then, for all the year, was absent once again. The years Amelia had grown up with her gran came back to her. The years she'd been abused, whipped with belts and whacked with frying pans. She'd bottled up a rage not easy to diffuse. And when she turned once more to taxidermy, anomalies she found gave grounds for panic. A duck that had evolved an epidermis thick enough to thwart a spray of shotgun pellets. A hedgehog that wore, underneath its spines, a carapace exactly like a tortoise, enough to render truck wheels crush benign. A fish with aerial lungs to breathe above the water. These signs she read as rapid evolution, a desperate amendment by the planet, nature bashing out a botched solution to all the novel pains us men have heaped upon it. And now her rage bore down on this new cause. When dozers came on sight, she climbed on top and surfed the beasts till they were forced to pause, and health and safety rules required all work to stop. When men with chainsaws came to cut the trees, they'd find Amelia handcuffed to a trunk, her bound, defenceless body like a tease, daring them to drive ahead with their attack. This garnered her respect around the camp, and several times she featured in the news. Now in the media spotlight, she was swamped with lucrative requests for quotes and interviews. Restful days, her day-off days, she'd mull upon the trials that prompted her to this. What made her not like every other girl, but wedded to this life of argument and risk? So when she had the time, she took to roaming down the secret pathways through the woods, and kept her intellect awake by naming animals and flowers, as many as she could. That rusty blue-winged crow, a jay, the robin, dumpy, orange-chested, the ramshackles of sticks called drays above her in the boughs where agile squirrels nested. Silvery flowers in dazzling constellations flecking the ground were wooden enemies. Bluebells, too, engaged her fascination, plashing turquoise lakes beneath the ancient trees. And butterflies galore, the speckled wood feeding on the copious blackberry flowers, and ruler of them all, suffused in woad, the purple emperor amid its lofty bowers. Here, one bright, unblemished April day, Amelia's way of life forever changed. What came that morning never went away. Thereafter, her entire reality rearranged. Part 3. The sun was filtering through a gauze of green, and ripples of lustre rolled pearl-like over moss, as if her path lay deep beneath the sea. The branches overhead seemed polished with a gloss that flung each iridescent spark of light ricocheting sideways, bud to bud, before they sprinkled sharp and diamond white to soak into the vibrant forest's spongy bed. And oceans she could see, great lakes of blue lapping at the bases of the trees, the bluebell flowers of April in full bloom, crested with white horses of wood anemones. Perhaps because the shadows traced thin threads that writhed as though the woodlands were bewitched, a weird sensation stole into her head, the chill, uneasy sense that she was being watched. Step by step, the creepy feeling grew, and pausing by a shiny shrub of holly, she thought she saw a figure stealing through the trunks some way away, patently unholy. So there was trepidation in the stride that accessed the arena of a clearing. A twisted, apprehensive knot inside endeavoured to distort the fabric of her being. But instantly, Amelia recognised the person waiting calmly in the glade. It was John Greenwood's bearded face that eyed the timid half a score of footfalls she made. And all she knew whilst folded in his arms was that this was the way it had to be. And all she felt was ecstasy, then calm, and John Greenwood was gone, elusive as the breeze. Upon the only shelf within her treehouse, Amelia kept the jewel of her pursuit, a small, black-suited, bowler-hatted woodmouse, atoned its lack of taste by dint of looking cute. That afternoon she stared into its eyes inquiringly, but answer there came none. Then pleadingly she begged it to advise. "Amelia," said the wood mouse. Amelia, what you done? What she'd done in later months came clear. Her cheeks acquired a rosy, wholesome glow, and as the blackberries plumped and summer veered to autumn, there were none in camp who didn't know. Her belly showed the telltale augmentation, and some discerned her diet almost double, as if she ate for two. At demonstrations by Taxit's slate of hand, they kept her out of trouble. When winter fell, the wind howled sharp and bitter. Amelia, swaddled up in layers of blankets, acquired a talent as a jumper knitter, and helped to peel the veg at what they termed their banquets. It was a frightful New Year's Eve when she first felt the cruel contractions grip her sides. Her sisters clustered round her, chanting, "Breathe!" The men observed the wind and black clouds in the skies. All night a fierce Atlantic tempest raged as poor Amelia agonized in labour. The valiant treehouse bucked and lurched and swayed, but somehow stayed aloft to shame its feeble neighbours. No doctor, midwife, soap, nor anaesthetic. In torment, none would think she could survive. Amelia battled with an energetic doggedness till she heard the baby was alive and beating back oblivion before she drifted to the solace of unconsciousness. They passed the baby to her and she lifted the tiny man aloft, then hugged him to her chest. Once she sensed the last gasp of the storm, Amelia swooned. They left her treetop bed, and none were ever certain if she saw the angry antler buds atop the baby's head. Well, that was The Forest Will Echo with Laughter by me, Tim Ellis. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to make a small donation to Médecins Sans Frontières, there you should find a link attached to the blurb about this video, so please chip in a few pounds. They're a great charity who do some fantastic work all around the world. So thank you everyone, and good night.